Join me today as we talk about the Irish News, our successful Irish News Workplace Employment Awards, as well as our innovative Young Newsreaders project.
So welcome to ProfileTree TV, and we continue our Business Leaders TV, our video collection. And today we're very excited to welcome John Brolly from the Irish News, and who looks after the marketing with the Irish News. And we're going to talk about branding, newspapers and media in general. So welcome. You wouldn't mind actually just telling us a little bit about yourself and even the Irish News for the few people who probably don't know anything about it?
Well, look, I mean, the Irish News is a daily newspaper. It is thankfully the top performing newspaper in the local newspaper market. We have won numerous awards in terms of our editorial content. We have a very, very good editor, very good team of journalists, and thankfully we seem to be satisfying the need, a news need that's out there at this moment in time, Kieran. But in all honesty, newspapers have evolved quite a bit in terms of the importance of sport, the importance of business, and the importance of the lifestyle features as well. So thankfully we're a go-to product on a daily basis, and long may that continue, because it's a challenging market out there.
Without a doubt. And yourself, you've been with the Irish News for a little while?
Yes, I've been with the Irish News for 17 years, so I suppose I've enjoyed it. That's why I've stayed there so long. Previous to that, I was with Diageo, where I was a brand manager for a few years, and I also spent some time in the advertising industry with McCann Erickson. So I suppose I potentially have maybe found my home in terms of something that really challenges me on a daily basis.
Amazing. And again, that's why we're so excited to have you in here today to share your experience and what's happened in the news, print, and how you're transitioning as an organisation, as you said, through the challenges of the internet and social media, and still being so successful today, which is quite incredible. Because we look at so many businesses, especially on the high street, it's a tough time.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Kieran. It is a very tough time. But look, at the end of the day, you just got to cater for the challenges that are out there in terms of your content and the product offerings that you're putting out there. For us, print is very much a core part of the business, and we hope that is very much so in the future. But we also have an e-paper available on a daily basis from 5 a.m. in the morning. So if people want to read it electronically on their tablet or their phone, they can do that either in Belfast or Dubai or Sydney. So we're basically opening up now to a global audience, and we have a website as well. So some people mightn't want to just go for the full e-paper product. So we have different subscription packages to meet all of the different needs of consumers out there. Because I suppose in these days there's no one fits everything, and we try to sort of meet the needs of all of our consumers out there, in all honesty.
Amazing. And I'd have been an avid newspaper reader. I have to say, I would have bought 2 or 3 papers a day.
Yes.
On Sunday.
Yes.
I'm not joking. Maybe 4 or 5 hours. You wouldn't see me. I'd be down first thing down the shop, buy all the papers and back. And I did go through a phase of drifting away, but I've actually noticed in the last year or two I've actually found my way back.
Yes.
And I'm actually hitting the website quite a bit now. So I actually enjoy the content, and I find especially the business news is really good. So you mentioned a couple of segments. So you talk about sport, which is very important for the newspaper, and you cover across Northern Ireland, and I can imagine the readership internationally on that is very good. And then you focus on business and lifestyle. So how can you excel at so many different departments? You've got a good team, or
well, look, it is all about people in any business. I'll be honest with you, Kieran. We have an excellent team, and you mentioned there the importance of business. We actually did commission a sizable piece of research in the last 12 months, and the focus groups that we did in relation to our business content was extremely strong. So business actually within the Irish News got a revamp this year, because it is the go-to area for everybody at this moment in time. There's a lot of unknowns out there as regards Brexit, etc. And the mummy sitting at home in whenever she comes in from her busy day work, is actually scanning the business pages, because to a certain extent she's helping to advise the children in terms of what career direction they should be going in. So business appeals to all of our audiences, in all honesty. Sport, we have a bit of a reputation for. GAA is very, very important to us, and it just seems to be becoming more and more popular, in all honesty. But it's learning in all aspects in terms of the golf, the boxing, the Premiership, obviously. So it's having that strong sport package that is very, very important to us. And the additional thing that you mentioned there in terms of your Sunday read, at the start of the year, we looked at the marketplace, and on reviewing the marketplace we realised that our Saturday product just wasn't quite where we wanted it to be. So we redeveloped it, renamed our Saturday paper Weekend Edition, and thankfully whenever we communicated with trade, they bought into the direction we were going. So from January of this year, the Irish News is available on a Saturday and Sunday, which is brand new. We have increased it with more travel, more food, eating out, cooking at home. Those are the sort of things that people actually really, really want at this moment in time. So we're developing the newspaper from more than just news, and our Saturday uplift and sale has been quite remarkable, in all honesty. So newspapers can evolve, and thankfully if you read the market right, you can do so successfully.
Incredible. And I didn't even know about the Weekend Edition, so that's my weekend sorted now.
You can get it Saturday or Sunday.
Brilliant. Oh, brilliant. I will check it out for sure. It's funny you mentioned the food as well. Actually, we actually do a lot of food work in the food industry, and we're talking to a potential client, and they actually mentioned that they actually read the recipes in the food section in the Irish News, so I was actually quite impressed. So actually do cover a lot of topics, so that's interesting to know about the weekend. I will check that out. It seems that again, you've mentioned it twice now, that you do a lot of research and reading the market, which is helping you gauge your business, which is incredible. So I guess then that's a lesson that we or anyone watching could take if they're in the business. They really do need to be looking at what the market is asking for and change and deliver it, as opposed to standing still and not change, especially in these days of the internet.
Yeah, look, you just cannot stand still, and look, you don't always get it right, but the more analysis, the more investigation, and the more research that you do, you increase your chances of getting it right. But equally, we would have a good connection with our readership, so we would be constantly reading the market nearly on a daily basis in terms of what is working well, because ultimately you're making decisions on a daily basis. What you put in the front page of the newspaper will help or hinder how well you sell on that given day, in all honesty. It's how people react to your front page on a given day, in all honesty.
It's incredible when you think about it. You're right, that's like thinking about that as well. It's the headlines, so you're getting live reaction to what you're doing, and again, I'm just thinking businesses. We put up something on the website and we leave it for 6 months and don't change it.
Yes.
And then we wonder why maybe no one's buying from a website and it's not successful. So and you're analysing it every single day. So first thing you do is obviously hit the numbers.
Well, look, you're looking at your front page in terms of how well it's doing in retail, but you're also looking at how well you're performing online. So in terms of online, you can look at your social stats, you can look at the number of views of a particular story, and you can adjust your website to move stories up or down to accommodate what's working and what's not working. And news obviously can break across the day as well, and it's important too that you try and seize that opportunity as well.
Of course, breaking news, and everyone wants to find out what's happening. So, but I am absolutely fascinated, because as I say, I was such a passionate reader of newspapers, and then the internet kind of took over my life, and then I still go back now to the traditional newspaper sites. But I just find it incredible how you've transitioned from the paper to the digital, and we're talking about digital and actually commanding online now, which is amazing. And you've brought in a subscription service now for your website.
Yes, well, in all honesty, we always operated with a subscription model. I think that some of the bigger media guys, like in London, potentially went a different direction, and you tend to find that the Times, the Telegraph have all started to pull back. Irish Times, etc. They're all now starting to really work the subscription model, and look, content has to be paid for at some stage. The BBC, you're license fee is paying for that information in terms of what is going up on their website. So if you want to have good journalists, you have to pay them a salary. So content does need paid for. So it's having strong enough content that people want to take out that subscription. But what has really helped us is that the subscription model now is part of daily life. Nearly everybody has got Netflix and a monthly subscription. So now people have become accustomed, whereas 5 years ago they just couldn't understand, well, what is a subscription and why should I be paying for it? So now that everybody has got that monthly subscription to Netflix, they understand that things do need to be paid for. And if you break it down and make it affordable, but equally have the content that people want, and you tend to find that, yes, there is a lot of news out there, but people still want the opinion. So they want the opinion on what is happening with Brexit at this moment in time. How is that going to affect Northern Ireland? So it's that analysis and opinion around the news that is probably, in all honesty, core to our success.
Excellent. I'm just again thinking of, you probably have subscribers then from around the world. It's not just here locally.
We do, thankfully, and the good thing obviously about online is you can actually target those overseas users and try to increase that. So that is part of our strategy going forward, because anything outside of Ireland, we are available in print from Coleraine to Cork today, so anything outside of Ireland we can't get to in print format. So it's a brilliant opportunity for us to go after that huge market, because it is global, and to a certain extent the local news here in terms of how we're affecting the Brexit negotiations at London is actually drawing in an external audience from London and from further afield. So we just need to capitalise on that.
Amazing. So brilliant for branding and getting the name all around the world.
Yes, well, thankfully the Irish News has got a trusted name, and in fact a number of years ago we ran a campaign because we were conscious that there is a lot of opportunities to get news out there. Lots of people are going to the likes of Facebook, etc., and getting their news, but they're not sure where it's coming from. So we actually ran a campaign a number of years ago, which was true to our words. Because I suppose that it was a case of for us, we're very confident in terms of everything that goes into the Irish News is from a trained journalist, and it's from a trusted source. So it's important that we, I suppose, identify ourselves as, look, you can trust us to deliver news for you and your family. So that actually connected with a lot of people out there, because there can be sort of a quick reaction to things, and then you have to backtrack and say, well, look, how did that all start in terms of news source? And it could turn out to be just a rumour in the first instance. So news and trusted news is very, very important, and you have to brand around that. So just are standing out, because look, there's no doubt about it, it's a very, very crowded marketplace out there.
Incredible, yeah. And you're talking about the famous word that we all know and hear at the moment is fake news.
Yes.
And we hear it from, maybe it's coming from
Uh-huh.
America
Yeah.
towards us way. But it is very true. There's a lot of news. It's amazing how things get shared on social media, and then you just don't know, like a famous person has passed away or something, your WhatsApp's going to be hacked if you don't press this button. It's just incredible what people will share on social media. So fake news is very interesting. Have you, as a marketing manager or a newspaper, any thoughts on fake news? Is it a real thing? A problem?
Look, I think people like the fact that we are high on integrity whenever it comes to news, and to a certain extent the US president has been very beneficial for us, because what it has done is he's created a lot of interest in young people for news, so they want to find out more about him. What is he saying? Why is he saying it? So actually, the sort of storm of fake news out there has actually helped trusted news brands, because people, I suppose, are coming to us in higher numbers in terms of trying to figure out really just what is the background. And the beauty about a newspaper is you can cover something off in 400 words and give somebody a really, really good insight on and analysis that they mightn't get anywhere else, because social media it's a quick read, whereas you should be reading around it as well, and thankfully that's where we come in.
Excellent, and you're actually right again. It's funny, I'm like your target demographic there. At this stage you're like tick, 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 but I just think I would never have read really about politics a year and a half ago, not in the slightest, but it's probably 50% of what I read today. It's incredible what Mr. Trump and incredible what Brexit has done.
Yes.
In the interest. I need to know what's happening. So, but whereas before I wouldn't have passed any remarks on what's happening in politics around me. So hence the app opens in the morning and first bookmarks and go through the news to see what's happening in politics especially. It's incredible. Do you think social media has changed in the newspaper industry as well?
Without a doubt, it's been a game changer in all honesty, because it has now offered people so many different sources. So it's important that you mentioned the word branding. It's important that we actually brand ourselves very strongly, but within social media, so that whenever people are scanning through social media, that they realise that is coming from the Irish News. And as a consequence to that, we obviously have a lot of journalists that are sub brands of the Irish News. So you're constantly looking for their name to be constantly connected with the Irish News. So whenever somebody's reading somebody quite high profile, that they realise that person is writing within the Irish News. So it is making the world more complicated too, as regards the world of branding for us, in all honesty. Very good.
And you're actually encouraging then employees or writers to cross-promote, cross-brand?
Absolutely. But the key is obviously directing people back to our website, because we have to work the subscription model in order to have a future. We really do. So it's maybe then promoting, here is my column today, where I give the insight into what the DUP's leaning on Theresa May is going to have as an outcome for us. So linking it back to the story is absolutely key for us, in all honesty.
We talked a few minutes ago about the internet and how people are becoming used to subscriptions, and again, just from our side, you're seeing that now people are becoming used to it. We would see it as well. Again, this year, actually, Google Maps, totally free app for businesses. We now see that Google Maps charges businesses for using the maps on their website if they have a high volume of usage. So the internet definitely is getting more expensive. Where we used to be free a few years ago, you can really see people are working out their business models, and I think the subscription model is just going to continue, and it can only help businesses like yourselves, and I guess other niches as well that haven't even considered it. So very interesting that you're seeing the same as we're seeing online, which is maybe a good thing. Free is good, but someone has to pay for the content.
Well, look, I mean, we have a sampling model in that we allow people to get access to a certain amount of stories across the week, and after that we start to lock that story account, so that they have to actually convert across to be a subscriber. So it's important that you allow to sample, and I suppose Google Maps have done that, and then whenever people get a high usage level, you have to sort of say, well, look, it's a service you enjoy or a product you enjoy, so can you sort of help now make sure we have a future going forward?
I've seen the Irish News being nominated and winning a lot of awards. Often see it being mentioned. So do you want to tell us about some of the awards that you have been nominated and won, and how important that is for yourselves to be recognised by your peers?
Well, we were quite fortunate on Friday night at the Chartered Institute of Marketing Awards. We won an award for our Young Newsreaders project. It's a superb project that we have developed in partnership with St Mary's University College here in Belfast. I suppose we have a very, very successful school strategy in terms of coaching, in terms of winning trips to Crow Park, and that has worked very successfully for us within the primary school sector. But we're very keen to develop it into the post-primary area, and we came up with a literacy project which actually has got the genuine aims of helping to improve literacy rates within Northern Ireland, because unfortunately we have some of the most disadvantaged areas within the UK and Europe. So we were actually surprised ourselves just at how big of an uplift that we got in engagement from schools. We were able to engage with schools across all sectors, integrated, controlled and Catholic, primary and post-primary, and we were actually able to get some of the schools to take it across their entire year group. So if you take Our Ladies in Newry, we had 160 pupils all taking part. Aquinas here in Belfast, we've just finished up a project with them with 140 pupils in year 2 all taking part, and the feedback has been unbelievably positive, because it is helping children to experience a newspaper, allowing them to experience how news is generated and the importance of news, and it's great that the project happens in the schools, so that has been fantastic for us. We've done it in partnership with CBI as well, so the business community really is concerned about ensuring we have a literacy level that develops our young people, because everybody can be developed to their full potential. So there's an onus on us all to putting our heart into that, and thankfully it's a genuine project that has made a difference, in all honesty.
Amazing, and you're right, helping educate our young children is so important, especially the world and the opportunities that are now at their feet, but also there's competition from around the world, not for jobs. It's not just here we need to worry about, it's the competition around the world as well. And in your own branding, you do a lot of work in promoting the Irish news, and you've had some, I think, quite unique views on how to do that, and you come up with your own awards as well that you promote once a year, I believe.
Yes, basically we were very keen to create a new business award, and whenever you scan the environment, there are a lot of business awards out there, so we to a certain extent we wanted to be different, so we were able to stand out. So we created our Irish News Workplace and Employment Awards. At the time we knew there was a niche for the awards event, but we just didn't realise the niche was going to be so big, and you're quite right, Kieran. We've got a lot of feedback in relation to the awards. It's actually nearly promoting Northern Ireland as a good place to come work and set up a business, and even the retainment of our talent is very important, because we don't want them going off to London or Australia. In all honesty, we do need talented people here, so the awards have been a brilliant success for us, and probably more importantly a brilliant success for winners, and our winners are our biggest ambassadors, in all honesty, because everyone at this moment in time wants to be seen as a good employer. So a lot of organisations are actually using that winner status to actually promote their organisation to as a good place to come and to work in. So look, it's been a one for us, it's been a one for the winners, and it's been a one for Northern Ireland PLC as well, because we've got both universities, Queen's University and Ulster University involved as well, because our education system here is very good as well in terms of primary, post-primary and third levels. So I suppose it's a case of all working together to hopefully, as you say, make ourselves competitive, because there are a lot of countries out there that are competing with us at this moment in time.
Very good. And again, you've mentioned employees and how important they are for you and for other businesses, and the lifeblood of any company.
Yes.
I think of all the young people who have left Ireland, and most probably don't come home. Which is obviously very sad. It is a real brain drain on the economy, especially when people have grown up and educated. Even ourselves, we left and lived abroad for 11 years, but we were lucky enough to come home. The family ties pulled us back.
Yes.
Ireland pulled us back. So it was lovely to be back home, but it is important that there's opportunities here, isn't there? And good employers and companies come in and set up and employ the young people here, so they don't have to leave and go and look for work. So I think it's what you're doing around the focusing on the employees and how people are being looked after is excellent, because it's often forgotten, the employees in the company. So really good, and for us as well, I'm glad to say we were part of that this year. Yes. And we're highly commended for our work with with our team, and for us it was a great honour,
Yeah.
and something that we want to continue to develop and be seen
Yes.
as a great employer and attract talent in,
Yeah.
as opposed to having to go and fight and find good people. If you can attract people in, it makes such a difference to any business. So I do understand what you've done and why you've done that, but no, I commend you on that, and very different and unique award. So it's run once a year?
It runs once a year. We launch in February time, and we have an awards event in Titanic Belfast in June every year. It's a sold out event. We actually have a waiting list in terms of people that want to go to it. But look, it is a great night of celebration, and look, it's a great mix. You've got large organisations such as First Derivatives and Newry with going on 2,000 employees to smaller organisations with 5-10 people. So it's a great mix, and we actually have school winners as well, because schools are doing a great job as well in terms of developing that talent as well, because people need to find their right area in terms of where they want to develop a career in, no matter what that is. So I suppose it's a case of everybody working together. So thankfully it's a very, very positive thing for us and for everybody else.
Totally.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, no, I look forward to this year's next year's
Yes.
entry, for sure. And the future, what do you
Yes.
think the future will be like for media, digital, print, content, the whole industry? Any thoughts or predictions, or what's your focus for 2019?
Thankfully, our focus is very much a case of content, developing good content, having a great lineup of opinion on a daily basis within the Irish News, developing our content, because as I mentioned earlier, it's not just about news. We need to be giving people additional content. Sport is still going to be absolutely key to us, and a lot of people do start at the back and read through that way. But look, I think potentially some newspaper brands have reacted wrongly in terms of giving too much content away, but we're quite sure of our strategy, and I would like to think that the Irish News would have a very strong future going forward, because you got to understand that every given day there's 101 reasons for why somebody will come to the Irish News, whether that's print, e-paper or online, and it's trying to cater for all of those different needs, in all honesty. Some people still come to us for the family notices, and that's important as well. So it's catering for the lots of needs that are out there, but I think you have to be sure of your strategy and sticking to your strategy, in all honesty.
Excellent. So again, I think I commend the Irish News for, I think, the business model. I really do like it, because I look at some of the other newspapers and you go to the site and it's full of ads. You can't actually move at all.
Yes.
For clicking, and especially if you're on a mobile device, and you're trying to move up and down, you've clicked on some ad to buy a handbag from someone. So it's a nightmare. But I actually do, again, working in the digital strategies for companies, when I look at what the Irish News has done, you allow some readership, so you can actually go and read a couple of articles, and in those articles you get a sample of what the paper's about, and the quality of the writing, and then you want to read more, and then you've it gated, so if people do want to read more, they can, but you actually get paid for it, which is your sustainability as well. So people have to pay for the content, which is, I think, is really good. It's a challenge for content creators now to get paid without all the ads, which is, I think you've hit the nail on the head, and it'll be interesting to see how the model develops going forward.
Well, look, we have to keep developing it, Kieran. I mean, 70% of our traffic is on a mobile device. So sometimes when you're developing things, you're looking at a big screen, and that's not the right way to look at it. So particularly on the sport front, we're redefining how it looks on a mobile device, because that is a huge volume in terms of, well, people are sitting at a bus stop and they're taking 5 minutes before the bus arrives. So that experience has to be good for people. So it's just a case of keeping moving forward and keeping developing everything, so that the user is engaging with you.
Very good. 70% from mobile.
Absolutely, yeah.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
it's beyond mobile first. That's mobile only, nearly.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. And in a few years, the laptops and desktops will probably be gone anyway. So who knows what's coming there as we walk around with these in our hands. But amazing. And would you have any passing tips or advice for anyone that's online or in a digital business, trying to figure out their strategy around a brand, or even trying to monetize online? It's great. Do you think it might get tougher online?
I honestly think it is going to get tougher, because you mentioned about the likes of Google Maps, looking for people to subscribe to them. There are just so many messages online now. It is a very confusing world. So you do have to, you mentioned earlier, you do have to have a strong brand so that the people are nearly searching you out in terms of a go-to source. But equally, whenever people are online, making sure that you are available, accessible, and on a user format that people really want to come back and re-engage with. But look, it is having a strategy, staying with the strategy, measuring the strategy, and adjusting the strategy, because you will get learnings from what you're doing, and it is a case of giving something a long enough time to understand it before you make that change.
Incredible. What I've learned from today is that I need to keep adjusting. It's not once a year, it's not even maybe once every 6 months, it's to keep looking, and you do it daily, which is incredible. So I need to go check my analytics today after this chat. So no, very good. I would get a weekly email, but I think maybe now weekly isn't enough. I think I might have to go to daily or bi-daily. If you're doing it, I need to be doing it. So no, very good. If anyone wants to come and look at what the Irish News is doing in their digital presence online, or wants to read some news or sport or business from Northern Ireland, or check out your subscription model, where's the best place then to go?
Look, they just have to put the irishnews.com into the Google search bar, and they'll get us. They'll get us no problem. And look, if they experience it, I'm pretty confident that they're going to be appreciative of what we're doing, because we are giving the opinion that the people want at this moment in time. Because there is a lot of news out there, but it's really getting behind the news is important.
Excellent. And the Irish News young readers, if any school or business wants to get behind that or get involved in that, where do they go?
Well, look, we'd be absolutely delighted. The bigger we can get this project, the better, because it is genuine in terms of making a difference to young people, and also making a difference within schools as well. So I mean, that is simple. It's just irishnews.com/YNR, which is obviously Young Newsreaders abbreviated.
Excellent. And the links will be below the video, of course, for anyone to go and click and check out these projects. So again, thank you very much for your time today. It was really good to chat to you, and hopefully you'll have a few more subscribers coming and checking out the website going forward. So it's brilliant to have a chat.
Thank you, Kieran.
No problem. So that was ProfileTree, and we're coming from the Innovation Factory today. We are a content marketing agency specialising in video marketing. So hopefully you liked the content today. Do check out the irishnews.com and have a little read of the business section in particular. And hopefully you'll join us for our next video tomorrow. Thank you.